Hey everyone, Jamie West here. Good to see you. Today I wanted to pay tribute to one of my great musical heroes, artistic heroes, someone who sadly passed away earlier this year, and he's just one of the all-time greats, Jeff Beck. So I've been putting off making this video. I kind of started doing a tribute. I wrote a song, which I'll share with you later, like the day after I heard the news. And just putting it off. I think I just felt too sad, really. It was such devastating news. And I'd seen him at the Royal Albert Hall, what felt very recently, only a few months before. And before I went to the concert, I was a bit worried. I thought, it's been a while since it's been COVID, and is he still going to be in good shape? And he looked in amazing shape. And I thought, oh, great. There'll be many years to come of fantastic Jeff Beck gigs. And sadly, that obviously wasn't to be. But, I couldn't let this moment pass without paying tribute to someone who was so important to me in terms of my musical development, artistic development, just my life. And I'm sure many of you feel similarly. So I thought I'd share some memories of gigs that I went to go and see. I've seen Jeff Beck so many times, and each time was sensational. But I thought I'd share a few memories and then play a little song for you. So the first time I saw Jeff Beck, I was about 13 years old, and back then there wasn't the internet giving all the tour dates and information and everything. I would get a guide every week in the newspaper and go through it looking for the acts and see who might be performing that week. And one week it was Jeff Beck. He had just come out with a new record. Who else? And he was playing the Shepherd's Bush Empire. And if memory serves, it was like maybe the next day. Maybe it was on a Sunday. I can't remember. The records will tell. And we got there super early, and I was sitting right at the front of the balcony with my dad, the first tier, so we had fantastic seats, and I was so excited. I was already a big Jeff Beck fan, which is why I'd be excited. But that gig, well, it was a transformative show. I remember it started with a curtain up, and then the curtain fell down and they launched into What Mama Said, the opening track of the new record. And Jennifer Batten's playing this amazing tapping riff, and the song is so awesome. And then Jeff Beck kind of came forward into the middle of the stage, dun, 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 and it was like unbelievably exciting. And I had really never seen anything like it. The sound, the energy, the kind of star quality that Jeff Beck had when he was playing was sensational. And even though I loved his music before, it was like in that gig I really understood. It was like when you're able to just lock in completely with what someone's doing and you get it. You just get it. And it all makes sense. And it kind of went by in a blur, the gig. I was trying, every now and then I'd become sort of self-conscious and think, try and remember this. This was before YouTube, so there was no, footage of anything like this out there. And I was like, trying to remember, what's he doing? What's the guitar playing, but also the kind of the moves and the sense of drama. But of course, I was just swept away constantly throughout the night with dazzling displays, and I was just smiling the whole time. And at the end of the show, there was a Scottish couple sitting next to me. And I think they'd seen him before earlier in the tour. And they said, what do you think of that? And I was like, and they went, exactly. And I was completely speechless. It was a life-changing gig, a life-changing moment somehow. It was really quite an amazing show. And I think because it made things possible that you wouldn't have believed. You had to see it to believe it, because what the hell was it? It was fantastic. And I saw him many, many times. There was quite a number of memorable, especially memorable shows. I one time saw him, I was traveling around on my gap year, and I thought, well, why don't I try and travel and intersect with Jeff Beck? And he was playing in Germany in a small town called Tuttlingen, something like that. And it's like really in the middle of nowhere, but it was some kind of festival they were having. And the gig was up on this hill in the ruins of a castle. They'd put up a tent. We had to go up through a graveyard to walk up to the top. And I sat listening to the sound check, to what I know was Stratus, but I didn't know that song then. And I got there super early so I could get to the front, and I was, right near the front. And it was such a special show because it was so physical. When Jeff Beck played a note, it was like the whole crowd was moving with each note. We were all kind of in sync in this incredible way, all standing up. And as always, he had a great band. Jeff Beck always had a great band, great drummers, great bassist, great everything, great keyboard. And the thing that was so exciting about his bands was that it was always on the edge, like a car going around the corner with the wheels up. You're just like, wow, like just that. Everyone's pushing at the very edge of their kind of abilities and what they can do, and together, how can they keep this thing still on the road, but I don't know, skidding around the corner in the most dazzling, amazing way. And that was a fantastic gig. I also saw him one time. This was really fun because there was a festival at Bloomsbury in London, and I'd gone to see another act there, and then they said, at the end of the show, somewhat like a compaq I said, it's just been announced as a special guest at Martin Taylor's gig in a few days. Jeff Beck will be playing. I was like, shit. And this was not like, there's no Twitter or anything. Like, you just had to be there in that moment and then you'd know. And so I got tickets to the Martin Taylor concert. And Martin Taylor's a superb guitarist. It's jazz, so jazz audience is a bit more reserved. And then Jeff Beck came out, I feel like at the encore or something like that. And then he just played a couple notes and the audience laughed. The whole audience just laughed. Have you ever seen? I've never seen such a thing. It was a kind of this emotion that was just released. And I suppose one of the other big gigs that I went to see was the live at Ronnie Scott's, and that was a real treat to see. And I went on quite a special night. They were probably all really special nights, but Eric Clapton was guesting, and that was the rumor going around. Who's guessing? Oh my God, it's Eric Clapton. And Jimmy Page was in the audience. So those three major Yardbirds guitarists all in the same room again. And, Vinnie Colaiuta on drums, Tao on bass, Jason Rebello on the keyboards. It was really, really exciting. I was right behind one of the cameras, or just beside one of the cameras in the corner, so I'm sadly not in the footage, but I was there, I promise you. And it really was just another tremendous gig. I find that it's very hard. You think you will be able to explain it in words, and you start talking and go, it was just like amazing. It was astonishing. What can you say? And you have to hear it, you have to see it. And the last time I saw him was last year at the Royal Albert Hall. And he had this thing in his shows where sometimes he'd come out and they'd start like really tight with like a tight-knit group of musicians, and like it was really like very close in almost. And then as the night went on, more guests would come out, and it would kind of become like not a free-for-all, but it just opened out into something you never knew quite what it was going to be. And last time Johnny Depp was there, and it was quite an incredible atmosphere. And I remember at the end of the show, he was coming out to bow at the end, and he was playing, and it was like he didn't want to leave. It's like he didn't want to leave the stage. And, for me, in a way, he never will. I love his music. Influenced me so much, and has been a guiding light of pursuing your own artistic visions and desires, and not giving a fuck about the other crap as much as you can, which is, having done in the industry myself somewhat, it is quite difficult. So really is incredible, all his achievements. And yeah, here's to you, Jeff Beck. May you always play on. So I want to end playing a little song that I wrote, kind of inspired right the day after. I just thought, I've got to write something. And this is what I came up with. So just a little tribute, and I hope you enjoy.